Commencement a case notice, we've tried to identify on this sheet the different types of people that you're going to be telling your debtor client you need to collect information on these people. One category we called identified parties because you actually end up with the name of the potential claimant in the case. And the other group, what we call public security owners, are often people who have thought of as being hidden because their identity is below the surface, meaning you can look at a brokerage firm like Goldman Sachs, or you can look at a bank like JP Chase, and they may hold millions of dollars of bonds or hundreds of thousands of shares of stock, but you don't really know who the owners are of those securities. So one would think that the identified parties would be the people that you really would have the easiest time of getting information into their hands and of collecting the information when you start a case. And our view is that that's the opposite of the truth. Public security owners, because they hold through banks and brokers, have an extremely well-established process for the distribution of material, whether it's a commencement of case notice, whether it's a notice of non-voting status, whether it's information related to balloting. There is a strict process that's followed between a claims agent, a ballot agent, and the banks and brokers to put materials in their hands and to have the material redistributed to those owners. So there's a very, very high degree of confidence that anything that is issued through the court by the company will reach the beneficial owners of the public securities. The identified parties, sometimes we're a little less sure of that. And the reason for that isn't that you don't know the categories of the owners. The reason for that is, particularly with smaller companies, you will often have the professional staff, and particularly the really good people, leave a company as the company is getting into trouble, or certainly leave as quickly as they can after a company files for bankruptcy. So sometimes what happens is that the people with the most knowledge as to who the company's been doing business with and the best access to files and records, they're some of the people who leave the company. So companies are sometimes left with good people, but not the best people, and they sometimes bring in new people to help gather the records as and after they file for bankruptcy. And this creates a situation where sometimes the list of scheduled parties that's pulled together is less perfect than people would like. So while we characterize these parties as identified, that's true to the degree that the company can scour its records and develop the information and turn it over in an intelligent and cohesive form to the claims agent.